saw your build beforehand, so I know that you aren't going to go pipe. But there are... I know when I was talking to Envy a lot, he was telling me about the benefits of Legion Commander. Because I was saying, this hero is trash. I don't get it. And then he was telling me how you can buy Hood, and you can buy pipe, and you can be this tank, where as soon as you have your pipe timing, you can kind of like occupy a lane that is very difficult to handle. Like, say, you kind of don't really have this problem this game, because your Zeus should be able to kill at waves, assuming he doesn't get completely stomped mid lane. But you could be able to sit in lanes like against this Necrophos. Maybe it was like a Necro versus Void matchup. You could sit in mid lane and kind of just play it out here and make sure the wave doesn't push in. And you're kind of like this tank, where if they ever go on you, you kind of have these teammates that can back you up by porting into the sides. But that's like one way to play it. So in a sense, I don't really mind one Ring of Regen, but again, I kind of would have started. I just kind of would have started with a Ring of Protection or Windlace, and then I would have like bought some tangos. It's just a little expensive to buy the Ring of Regen. One thing someone else was telling me was, I don't really do this still, but one of the things is that you can actually buy enough mangoes to equate like a Ring of Regen. So if you're gonna actually like sell your Ring of Regen in the future, you might as well buy mangoes. But like in this case, I just don't think it's worth it. Like one Ring of Regen can be fine, but I'm a big fan of just having like a Quelling Blade and like actual consumables.
Okay.
For that. Okay, sorry, I wasn't looking at the wave as much as I could have there. So this wave is pushing in. This is dope. Your what's the word? Invoker doesn't really do much in this lane, so one thing I'd worry about is him going on you.
Yeah, like that happens a few times, but they're always just a little bit lacking. Like I always just slip away. One time they even chased me like halfway across the map.
Okay, so here's a creep aggro thing where you should be using creep aggro to get the CS, because if this guy's good, what'll happen is, let me zoom in just so you can see exactly what'll happen. So as this creep gets low, he wants to either deny this creep or he knows that you want to last at this creep. So your goal is you want to use creep aggro, pull it back, because what good players will do is they'll see you want to last at this creep, and if you don't use creep aggro, they'll walk up and they'll auto attack you a bunch of times. Or by auto attacking you, you end up standing there waiting to get the last hit, but they have drawn aggro off of your creeps, so you're not gonna be able to get the CS.
Okay, doesn't when you pull aggro, doesn't that push the lane, which is like the opposite of what you want to do? Like, it feels like a balancing act to me, but it's always worth it to pull the creeps.
Something that I've been telling people a lot is generally it's mostly always worth it to pull the creeps. Like what you're gonna do if you pull these creeps is you're gonna get these two melee creeps onto your range creep, right? And the lane,
and then that will counter push a bit, right?
Yeah, and the lane's already massively pushing. Like look at this. They have another wave coming in. Like your wave is here, you know, like based on what's happening in the lane.
And then something that happens right after, I remember trying, look, we even like stutter step a bit, and then I was like, there's no way for me to secure that range creep.
Yeah, that's kind of risky. You kind of just have to give that up. It's interesting you started E as well. I kind of prefer starting Q to secure CS a bit more. But like even here, so this is something that you might not think is that important, but here, as this range creep is about to die, I'm already right-clicking on Drug, pulling the wave back as much as I can. Because what'll happen is I don't want like this wave massively running into my tower all at the same time, and Jugger will follow me if he's good. Like obviously there's stuff going on here. I don't know where Invoker is, but you should just kind of get in the habit of like if you pull a wave back here. So he's not actually following you very much, but yeah, this is a small thing. I'm still surprised you haven't had to ferry yourself regen, but.
Well, yeah, that's the idea. Like that's why I leveled counter attack or whatever, and then get the 2 rings of regen. Because I try and just like outlast the opponent and just trade efficiently with the counter attack.
Yeah. Okay, so this is this is an unfortunate thing that's happened. This is kind of like what happens when you pull the lane in a lot and your teammate doesn't stop the pull. They'll stack the camp and they'll get the pull off. And you just like got a whole wave denied, and there's not really much you could have done about it. So I don't know what kind of videos you've watched me explain on YouTube, but a lot of stuff that I explain is like how to keep the lane pushed in, and you can't really do that this game. You kind of want to because of what happened with the Witch Doctor, but this Invoker is relatively useless. Like you want to just push and pull, but you just kind of had to hope that Invoker stopped the pull there, and because he didn't, you're kind of just behind.
Yeah, no, I definitely felt like I was behind. The Invoker wasn't doing much, and then I seem to just, yeah, they spend a lot of time trying to kill me, and it never quite works out for them.
Yeah, and it's just sad. It's sad when you're like tanking all this damage and the resources, and Invoker's just like standing here not doing anything. it's very frustrating. Like, this is one of the reasons why I have a lot of supports that I say are on my blacklist. Where if somebody's like, hey, what pos 4 should I play? I'll immediately just spew out names of heroes I definitely don't want in my lane. Like, I don't want a Tiny in my lane. I don't want a Mirana in my lane. Most of the Tusks I play with kind of just feed, you know, like against these Banes or Enchantresses. And Invoker is like one of the heroes that I would also kind of add to that list. It does seem, it's just not that impactful most of the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like how you fared I think you fared yourself a salve. I wasn't watching exactly, but...
No, Invoker gave me a Tango.
Okay,
and
then you just regen.
then sitting under tower, you have like 8 regen with the rings and the headdress, so...
That's true. Okay. So your CSing is really good, actually. Like, the fact you don't have a Quelling Blade makes me think that you're going to miss a lot of CS, but you're doing really well. I like your camera movement a lot as well. These trades are really good. You're acknowledging, like, where the wave is. Your Invoker doing some random shit.
Yeah,
really relevant.
That's why I feel like I'm good at LC. Like, I watched this video, I think it was, like, one of your videos, maybe, about Tango, and, like, you were, like... Anyways, what I took away from it was, like no
one to trade.
Like, pressuring the other guy a lot. I'll just run, like... And this game I was holding back because they have Jug Witch Doctor, so you get stunned, you get maledicted, and spun, like you could die.
Yeah.
But there was another game that I lost where I crushed the lane, like just crushed it. The guy was like 2 levels lower than me, and it was just because I just ran at him and right clicked him the whole time.
Yeah. This looks really good. I probably would have. Again, you could have skilled your Q faster and gotten that kill without the Zeus. This build is interesting. I haven't done a lot of theory crafting myself in terms of good LC builds, but this looks solid. I'm pretty impressed with this laning as well when you have a useless Invoker. But to be fair, the Witch Doctor's kind of he's not doing that much as well. Yeah. So one thing that my items would probably be a lot different in this lane. First of all, I wouldn't have completed this headdress. I don't know what you plan on doing with this, but if you're just sitting on a ring of regen, like how much gold is it to upgrade into headdress? It's like
200.
Yeah, like it's like unless you really care about your Invoker and you're like, oh man, I love this guy, I want to give him more regen. It's not
that's
something.
That's why I normally buy it, is the headdress. I don't really think about it. Like, I mean, because I guess Voker already has a ton of regen going Quas Wax.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. Oh, yeah, you could have ported tower, but that's like in the spur of the moment.
I didn't realize, and as soon as I landed in the fountain, I was kind of like, oh, that wasn't as close as I thought it was. Like, I was kind of like thinking I need fountain regen to survive Maledict, but it wasn't nearly that close.
So what I wish would happen here, so again, my build would probably be similar to you, to be honest. I might have phase boots and Embracer or something. Those are just preference items. I don't actually mind your power treads at all. I would be kind of telling your team that you're really strong and that you want to fight top. So I see you do ping once. I hope that means that you want heroes to come top, because there's not much you can pressure on your own here. Like, you're laning and it's fine, but you kind of need help or assistance from at least an Invoker or some sort of CC in order to help you stay on an enemy. This is good. Hopefully you look at what's going on bottom, even though you kind of don't want to go. Like, you kind of don't want to go, but you're not really doing anything else, so you might as well just, like, take a peek. Like, when there was, like, a bunch of people there. I don't know if you saw the minimap there.
Yeah, no, I don't move my main camera as much as I just look at the minimap.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, this is awesome. You actually just farmed your blink timing and you're here.
Yeah. This is where I feel like things are going well. You do this, bam, dual win.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think you could have you maybe could have looked at the Enigma a bit more. Like, looked for further targets. Just something with camera movement.
Okay.
Like, so I'll go back just to show. Like, I don't think it's that big a deal, but.
Okay, no, thank you.
It's like, if you have this massive, like, perspective on the game, here you might think, okay, there's like here we're some all-knowing player, right? You can see here, Quap has no mana, he has no stick, he has no way to get mana for blink. He might have, I'm pretty sure he just blinked in, but we might not have seen that because we weren't paying attention. We see this Enigma, right? Like, if you kind of see from this perspective, you can be like, okay, maybe I should just jump the Enigma and duel the Enigma. But this is just something with your camera, right? When you only see this guy, or you don't
see the Enigma's not even on the camera at that point. So.
Yeah. It's still fine. It still works out great. You have Zeus here. Really like this. Your camera could be a little bit better because it's kind of really hard to click. Like to make movement commands when your camera is. Let me just go back. When your camera is here, it's actually hard to make movement commands. Like you'll find it's hard to click on the ground to cancel your backswing. So if you like recenter your camera or get a little better at that, you'll notice it'll help a lot actually.
Yeah.
Okay, this is great. That was a great rotation bottom. So you can look to keep playing bottom as well until you're forced out. Looks like you are. You can farm ancients with this iron talent as well. You have to kind of ask yourself what your next play is. So I don't think you're gonna get this tower.
Yeah, I didn't really. That wasn't on my radar.
But this is good actually. I'm interested in seeing what you do next. So instinctively, from when I look at this minimap, trying to think of what I would do here, is there is a play that could be made top. So what you could do is you could kind of pressure the tower a little bit, maybe escape, and then you can maybe port top, try to get something done up there. I didn't notice your mid tower's gone. Not sure what happened there or when the tower died, but maybe mid's a little bit weaker because mid might also be a place to pressure, but it might be a bit hard now that your tower's down. So yeah, I hope that you pressure this tower, hopefully not die, and then maybe like go to another lane.
A bit too aggressive. Ogre dies for it.
So yeah, so here you made it a lot of people port bottom. You can kind of say, yo guys, we can pressure top. Your monkey's pushing mid, which is great. Nobody's farming these camps, which is good because now they can pressure top. Zeus has no mana, which is really bad. If Zeus had mana, maybe you could be like, oh, we could push, like run top and get some stuff done. But I like this. I would have done this too. I would have been like, yo Zeus, get some mana. I'm gonna hit ancient creeps. This is fine.
Yeah, I didn't tell Zeus to get. I didn't even know Zeus was Zoom. I didn't think about going top though. That's a good idea, I guess. Yeah.
So here it's really important to see how many numbers you have at this fight. If you don't have the numbers coming to this fight, stuff could go wrong. I probably would have.
See, I started a dual animation on co-op, and then I just was like, nope. I gotta leave, and then I duel them anyways. And then they throw all this stuff.
I think this could have gone a little bit better if your skill build was different, actually. This sounds kind of crazy, but like here, I mean, not even on the quad, but just if you're able to queue, like get a massive queue where it hits like a bunch of people or creeps. I don't know what the scaling is on putting more points into queue, but I think that it could have gone a little bit better if. Maybe I'm wrong. Is this like the normal skill build? I'm actually curious now.
I actually have no idea what the normal skill build is.
Okay.
I just level basically if the lane feels like it's gonna be super hard, then I would put a lot of points into Q and use it to secure range creep. Otherwise, I go more into press the attack and counter spell or counter attack, whatever.
Okay.
So that I can just trade effectively with the laner, and then I'll usually just continue with that build. Like, whichever build I started on, I'll continue with it in the mid game, like maxing out the press the attack and the counter attack, and then, yeah.
Sorry, I just want to make sure I understand exactly what happened here. So top wave. What is this guy? So this Juggernaut pushed out top wave while this fight was all happening. Took the tower and then he ported bottom. Oh, I see. But this fight was kind of already lost at the moment that you decided to go in, and it's just a numbers thing. Like you guys just didn't have people set up for this. I just wanted to go back in time and check what happened because I noticed here you have like really poor map control. Like nobody's pushing out top. I guess mid's pushed in, but you lost your tower, and I don't know. It already feels like you're very constrained right now, and just from like how your lane's
this is like I just felt like what the hell am I supposed to do right now? And starting like now or 2 minutes ago even till we lose. It's just like I didn't know what to do.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't mind this pushing out this lane. So one thing that you want to do on LC is try not to show in lanes. It's kind of not super relevant right now. This is going to be dangerous if you go on this guy. Okay.
Yeah, no,
You have that ward up too, so you can see.
Yeah.
So one thing you can try to do right now is smoke the top. That's an option. This game is going to be really hard to play because your teammates don't seem to want to push lanes very much. Like, when your team is jungling and the wave is here, and they are showing like 50 heroes bottom, and this lane isn't getting pushed out, there's something wrong. Like your team is just jungling like crazy right now, and it's fine to play safe and jungle, but this kind of hinders your play because if this lane was being pushed out, like you should be kind of saying, "Yo, monkey, push out this lane," right? Like, we see 4 bottom. You're not going to die to a solar juggernaut. You need to push out this wave, because then what you guys can do is you guys can actually like smoke to top or something like that. Like, you can do a play like this, and it'll be very effective. But you're hindered in that sense because you can't really do that. Also, nobody's pushing at your mid wave, so it kind of just forces you to do it. Here would be a good smoke timing, actually.
I really wanted to smoke,
like
but
right
the Volker had. If you saw it on the side there, the Volker just bought 2 smokes and he didn't have any, so we were waiting for the courier to come. And then I see Jug. This is just unfortunate. I don't quite click him in time.
Yeah, that's fine. You kind of had to worry about the heroes behind him too, but that's just.
Then
really
the Omni just does way too much.
Yeah, that Jugger is really farmed compared to your Monkey King.
Yes. And like, I don't know, that felt a bit reaching to me. Like, even when I was doing it, like the fact that I got fogged is kind of just a symptom of the fact that it was, to me, felt like an almost too aggressive play.
Yeah, it was a bit aggressive.
At the same time, I didn't know what else to do, because like I had just been farming jungle for the last like 3 minutes.
Yeah, so I think the correct play there would have been the top play, where if you had some teammates also help you pushing the wave. Like, it's not obvious if your teammate's pushing the wave. Like, oftentimes if you'll watch some streams or high level Dota, a lot of the concepts are smoke towards your teammates, because generally you're gonna have teammates that are pushing out waves or are in like precarious places that you can add a lot of fight to, where the enemy will be like, whoa, there's a single player here, we won't expect him to, like, they won't expect like a bunch of heroes behind you most of the time if you've like just shown bottom. That's why you like smoke to places.
Right, and you don't necessarily have to do a 5-man smoke. You can just take a few heroes, and then your Monkey King could be pushing top, and then when they come to kill him, then you show up with like 4 heroes all of a sudden.
Yeah. Again, already this game looks kind of hard. One thing you could have done is again like smoking to top. This is just something you kind of have to do. Like, you either on LC, I think the best ways to play this here are when you sit behind heroes, or you smoke to places. That's just life. That's illusions.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just not much for you. Like, you kind of when you like, this isn't even gonna work.
That's just a feed.
Yeah, so your monkey is playing in a way where you can't kind of just sit in this area and be relaxed. You kind of have to be in these places where you're actually like behind the monkey, in my opinion, or you're smoking to the monkey or something like that. Because if you just take these fights here, like they're all just middle right now. They have their lanes pushed out. They're all hiding in one lane. I don't see many plays here for you. And you're gonna often find yourself running into 5 heroes.
Yeah,
but
that's
this
definitely what it felt like. Game.
This isn't very easy to play though. But by all means, you're like the only player with catch on this team. You don't have many players that want to get jumped that you can save. It's a very hard Legion game. You don't even have much. I would argue you don't have much wave clear because of the showing in lanes part that you don't really want your team to do.
Yeah, I think okay, this actually works out great.
This
for
looks
us.
I was about to say this looks great.
It felt a little awkward because we didn't have any vision of their jungle, but then they just show 2 heroes mid and they get annihilated. And then we take the mid tower. So
one thing as well is I'm gonna do free camera, and I'm assuming there are 2 heroes at this tower because okay, I was kind of close. So they have the Juggernaut's here. But, like, they're all playing around mid lane. But if you get the jump and you have the heroes, then you can actually, like, outnumber them even if you take these fights mid. So you just kind of have to watch as well for where your Monkey King's playing. Like, your goal, I think this game, if I was playing Legion, is I want to make sure I'm where my Monkey is. Because nothing is going to happen if I'm not where my Monkey is. Okay. Like, these plays, I don't know how well these even work if your Monkey's not here. I guess, like, Zeus does a lot of damage as well. But, yeah, like, especially if they're, like, more numbers. Like, if your monkey is farming top, I guarantee you that Jugger comes to that fight and he messes you guys up. Alright, probably just casting your Q a bit more here. Like, I see these Eidolons look like great targets, I think. Maybe it's a bit wrong. A bit of an overstaying, you're welcome. But that's okay. I like how you push top. Hopefully you keep pushing maybe one more wave. You have blink to get away. And you're kind of just stalling for Invoker. That's no big deal. Okay, so we're trying to think what I would do. I'm not sure if I like this Deso. Not sure what the better item is in terms of melting the Juggernauts. Maybe it's stuff you've seen before, but I don't think it's really that good.
Yeah, see this remember what you said before? You're like, you're just gonna blink in and then there's gonna be 4 heroes behind it.
Yeah, but also the problem is that you don't have the backup on your team. Like you don't have this, you don't have the Storm Spirit zip. You don't like for Monkey King to set up. You would have to have him already sitting on a tree, and that's like the amount of coordination for that in this bracket is something I wouldn't expect. You know.
Yeah, I went in because I see the Jug top and then I see Necro mid, and they had just.
No, it's completely reasonable.
Yeah.
It's just like you have to ping your team and be like, hey, this is something we need to do. But even if you have your team pinged, it's still hard with the initiation you guys have. All right, so I might have ported here so that I can get there faster from spawn. But this is not that big of a problem. This looks like a great.
Oh, yeah, and then I get sucked into the. Oh no! Oh yeah, this happens. I think I win this duel. No.
This is interesting. Okay, so as soon as I saw this fight, I'm not sure why you didn't duel immediately. So I would have ported here. I would have kind of blinked onto them inside this circle because that's kind of where you're safe. And I would have dueled this Necro. I do see now what your plan is, how you kind of want to save your duel for the Enigma, but I kind of would have valued Necro dying and hoped that they didn't have like this Enigma black hole to kill you all over kind of you saving your duel. I don't know if you saved it on purpose because you're like, oh, I want to cancel black hole, but
yeah, in general, I was kind of waiting in the wings, looking for like something to jump in. But you're saying like just blink into the fight. Like even if you're not going to duel someone immediately, you can just like if you're in the Monkey King ring, you can just be right clicking someone.
Yeah. So well, you're kind of just waiting here, and you could have continued to wait here until that Necro kind of respawned here. But what I would have done is I would have just like I would have blinked in and I would just waited for the Necro. Like I guess you can kind of wait till he's like literally about to spawn, but I would have dueled the Necro. Anytime you can get these really close duel targets that aren't like you don't have enough lockdown for on your team, you should kind of just take them. Like you saw there, the Necro ended up living, and I was kind of worried. I was like, okay, he's not dueling the Necro. Does he think Necro's gonna die? Is he saving it for something else? Like it's kind of really good to secure these kills on these super high net worth cores, and yeah, that's all I'm saying. Because you'll notice a lot of times if you blink in, you blink too deep, then you'll sorry, I don't know how loud this game sound is for you, but it's very loud for me.
I don't think I can actually hear it at all.
Oh, through Discord?
Yeah, I don't think I hear it.
Is there a volume button?
I mean, like, I don't think there's a volume that's separate from your volume.
No, like, do you hear my volume?
Like your voice, I don't hear anything from the game. I just hear your voice. Your voice is like good, but then
okay.
I don't hear anything from the game.
Huh. Let me stop streaming for a second. Oh, I'm sharing my screen, not streaming Dota. Oh my god. Okay, you should be able to hear it now. Do you hear it?
No.
Stream Dota. Wait. Okay, do you hear it?
No.
Okay, I don't know then. I guess this isn't something that's working for you, but I hope that this is still okay. I don't know if you want to.
It hasn't bothered me too much. I haven't really noticed too much.
Okay.
I mean, sound is important when you're playing the game, but when you're watching the replay, it's. I mean, it's still nice, but it's not as important.
I can get a sound. Like, I'm pretty sure if I just make a server and I invite you to it, I should be able to stream Dota. Like, stream it in a way that you can get the sound. Like, I think that you should be able to hear the sound. It's not that big a deal, but I'm just...
I mean, if you have an idea of how to get it working, sure, go ahead.
Okay, let me just do this really fast. You're in my Pangolier Harem server, right?
No.
Okay, let me invite you to this.
Pangolier Harem? Is that what you said?
It's like a Discord. I do it for the stream. Okay, so here, if you want to join that.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, I'm gonna... Alright, so if I share my screen here... So can you see this?
Yeah.
Can you hear anything?
Oh, just a little bit, yeah.
Okay. Let's... I guess it's better to hear than not to hear. Okay. So your third item that you buy here is really important. And I'm not some Legion like god to know exactly what to buy, but I think you could have thought a little bit more about this item.
Yeah, I actually didn't know. I didn't feel very good about the Desolator.
Yeah, so let me just... What do people buy? Legion... Just to give me an idea really fast. Something when I'm like playing new heroes, I oftentimes just like Google... I kind of go on Dota Buff and I look at like Legion guides of like other people just to see like the items that they buy. And I'm seeing like AC, Halberd, BKB are like the general ones. Shiva's maybe doesn't look that bad, but just to kind of give me an idea, especially when I play like a hero I'm not as familiar with. And I can see how Halberd could be a little better than this Deso for sure. Okay, so you're looking to jump. You don't really have a very good perspective on what's going on in this fight.
Yeah.
This is kind of hard. Like, you don't see anything. I don't know why you're...
The Witch Doctor, watch this Witch Doctor play. It's like, so I don't know how he just gets vision of me and then he just does this and I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
No, I can't blink for like 10-15 seconds or something, man.
A lot of it is also kind of seeing what's going on though. Like here,
Yeah.
so let's gain global perspective on what happened in this fight. Because I think there was some stuff you could have done here.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know if you... Okay. So your teammate gets jumped. This is fine. I'm fine with you staying like anywhere in this outer ring area. I don't think it's time for you to go in. I'm glad you didn't go on this Witch Doctor because I think you would have lost the fight if you did that. So your Ogre's getting got on. He's running away. This is fine. So if you're positioned here instead of here, you don't get caught by this Maledicts, and you're kind of in a position to counter engage. So what you would see here is now, so say we have some assume we're omnipotent. If you're standing here and you see this Jugger here,
right there.
yeah, you would duel him.
He's
but,
so deep.
Yeah, like even here was a good duel. Here's an even better duel, right?
Yeah, but I was just wrecked by the Maledict that whole time once I got hit by that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the only things that caused problems in this fight were kind of knowing that you don't want to go on them, right? As soon as you realize that you're not gonna jump this Witch Doctor and it's gonna lose you the fight changes a lot because then you're standing like here, right?
Yeah,
instead of
that's
here.
Why I was standing right on the side because I thought I was like, I don't want to duel Necro or Jug because that had gone poorly in the past. So I was looking to duel like Enigma or Witch Doctor, but
yeah. And then the second problem is kind of your camera. So you don't really realize that there's a problem with what the Juggernaut's doing because here your Ogre gets jumped. This is what you see, right?
Yeah.
Like Ogre's jumped, Juggernaut's chasing him. You're like, like Jugger could run all the way to your fountain right now, and you'd still be standing here. Like here, you could have maybe ran at the Jugger.
Yeah,
but it's kind of late. Like, you don't have Blink. I don't fault you for that. Like, your positioning initially kind of ruined the fight for you. You got pinged. Oh, I guess you pinged yourself. But it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. Okay, so Monkey the whole time. Oh, where was Monkey that whole time, actually? So when Jugger makes that play, Monkey's here, which isn't so great, but I do still think it was a good play. So anyways, let's get back into this. So your Monkey feeds, and now they have, okay, buyback. Okay, so now this just doesn't look like you're doing the right target. Like, I don't think you can do this. Like, you're kind of blinking in and you're expecting some sort of follow-up, but you really have to play inside your Monkey King's cage. Like, your Zeus is going to be nowhere near you this fight. These are just really really optimistic duels, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and you, again, you're kind of not seeing the perspective here. Like, you don't have any idea your Monkey's about to ulti here. Like, if you want to play here, it's fine. It's fine to play like in this area, but you should be having your camera focused on where the fight is, and you should be like blinking in from. I mean, I would probably stand here, just because it's kind of like the same with standing here, except that you're not. You're not going to jump like this back line.
Okay, yeah.
Like
I think that was the key. So wait, so how did you come to that decision then? because I was thinking the exact opposite. I was thinking I want to jump the back line because I don't know, but that's what I was thinking.
Sure. So there are games where you're going to be against like these, say like OD or maybe an Anti-Mage, where you 100% want to duel them every single fight. There's like no better target for you. Like what the stuff that you gain from killing this Witch Doctor, I don't think it's enough to win this fight. And also, like I guess right here, maybe it's like a reasonable duel because this whole team's standing here. But the problem is that your camera perspective doesn't see that. So if you decide to make this decision, where you're like, okay, I wanna jump their back line in a way where he can't get any help, then that's fine. But you have to actually like jump. And if you're gonna make the other play where you kind of sit back here and you're like, okay, I want to play off of my Monkey King's ulti because Monkey can't really like run out of the ulti, like you kind of don't have any follow up, right? So you kind of could play here and play off the Monkey, or you could play here and try to get like a solo pick off when his team is being distracted by your Monkey, right? Like you kind of have two plays, and this play is something you had like a window to execute, but you kind of didn't execute it. And now, like, even here, like you kind of noticed that it was like you had like a really small window, and I would have preferred you played with your team. It's hard to go back and think, okay, well, should I have done that, or how am I supposed to know that I shouldn't have done that without dying, right? And it's just like you just have no follow-up, right? So even if you get that kill, he's going to have a lot of heroes behind him. There was a very small window that I saw, but you're going to have an even larger window if you just wait for this Jugger to run uphill. Like, they're just fighting without Aegis. I guess Aegis doesn't spawn yet. But this Jugger's going way too deep, especially under Monkey King ulti. And your Monkey, like, has items to stay under tower. So,
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it's also the camera. Like, you're playing in this area where you don't actually see what's going on. And I think that influences decisions a lot. Like, if you were standing up there and you saw what was happening, I think you might have jumped the Jug, to be completely honest with you. But you're just not seeing what's going on, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any like tips for how to
Manage your camera?
have better camera? Yeah. Like.
It's hard. It's hard. I'm trying to think, cause for me, like I started playing League back in 2011, and I've just been playing with edge panning like my entire life. So it's really hard for me to try to give these tips. Like even there, like I would move your camera a bit more. Like as soon as you get that duel off, or as soon as you get that blink in, I would kind of move my camera to prepare for the fact how, okay, am I gonna like keep chasing this guy after I blink in? It's kind of just reactions, right? So you blink. I think I covered this in like one video when you're like pango rolling on hitting the edges of your screen, but it's something very a lot of players don't do this very well, and it's hard to explain. Like here, like I would keep hitting the edge of my screen if I wanted to keep running up top. Just it's so hard to describe, and I wish I could help you more.
I
with
think
this
I get
camera
what you're
stuff.
saying, though. Yeah.
I honestly don't mind your camera a lot of this game. It's just few fights. It's kind of noticeable. That's all.
I mean, so the one thing about my camera that's kind of funny is I use the arrow keys a lot to move my camera around.
Oh.
And I do use edge pan as well.
Okay.
Like, I wonder if that has contributed to this problem, because it makes it like when you're in a fight, I don't want to take my hands off like pressing spells, so then I have I don't move the camera as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a video actually. There's one player I know, Speed Gaming. I think he uses WASD camera movements. And let me see if he made a video on I don't think he does have one, but I was just curious if he had a video on he does have a Game League video.
Right, you can focus on your hero movement.
This might be of interest to you. I just kind of googled, and it's Speed's video on like the benefits of WASD, but it might help you when you're like using WASD a lot. Maybe it won't, but it could be worth your time, because I know there are players that use WASD. Like there are players that hit like 7K, 8K using this camera movement, and it is very it's very objectively the worst way to move your camera, like comparing it to like camera grip or edge panning. But I don't think it's that. It's not that bad. Like it's pretty bad, but it's not gonna completely ruin your game.
Mine is worse though. Mine is I have it. It's the default setting.
Okay.
which is the arrow keys. So you have to move your entire hand off the spells and then move it to the arrow keys and then move. So
Yeah, this is just. Oh, by the way, this is just a bit too deep. Like, I don't know. So here, like
go
you.
back. Sorry, I had the screen.
All good, all good. So
Yeah,
here
there you
you're
go.
chilling. You kind of need to see what's going on at this fight. This is something where edge panning would help. So how I would see this fight is I would just go like this, and then I would like click here, like, and like I'm moving around.
So how do you control the camera? You use edge panning, and then what else? Do you use anything else? Like, do you ever press the button to center on your hero? Or...
Yeah, I center my hero a decent amount. Like when say I look at some like somewhere else on the map, like I'm looking here, I'll center the camera on my hero to get back. Sometimes if I find myself, the most times, so say I'm blocking mid wave, I'll keep my camera centered on my hero. Maybe if I completely lose myself in a team fight, I'll center my hero, which actually does happen. But here,
Yeah.
so here's how my camera would look. So this is what you see. I guess let's go back in time just a little bit. So you're farming here. This is what you see. Right? This is what, or sorry, player perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, like this is
free camera. There
this
we go.
this is
Okay.
better. This is better. Like I would have my camera like this. I would be like clicking around here to like posture, maybe get a little bit closer. But like as I look up, I'm kind of edge panning, just to see what's going on like this, like something like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm constantly right clicking. You can't see it, but I'm constantly right clicking on the floors to just kind of posture around. And I think you would have gotten this duel if you had your camera just a little bit better. You're kind of focused on
the necro, yeah, because
Yeah.
I did see it a little bit later on, and then I was like, oh man, that would have been a good duel, and then I just do this instead, which is terrible.
And now you're already realizing that you've gone too deep, and this is kind of what I was. I guess I thought this was gonna happen from the start. It's very hard. It is a hard game regardless, though. Like you can wonder, hey, if I dueled that necro, would we have won that fight? And you kind of just also have to pray that you had like a monkey in a good position to respond to like if they follow up with black hole or something like that. But it's very hard to play. But this is actually the problem that I found with a lot of Pangolier players is like say they're rolling, they'll like hit the initial targets, and then they'll have their camera isn't the greatest, and so they won't have a perspective on what like the greater fight is. Like who is the hero I should be rolling into next, or these players will just like their camera will be like this. They'll have their ball like the top left corner of their screen, and I'll just be like, all right, man, where are you going? And he's like, I don't know, because there's like you can't see where to go.
His ball's in the top left corner, and he's going towards the top left.
Yeah, and it's just poor camera, right? Because you don't even know where you're rolling to at that point.
Right. Okay. Okay, well, I think what I'm going to probably do is play some unranked and just turn off the hotkeys for all the arrows to move the camera, and then just see what happens.
Sure.
Eventually learn how to edge pan.
I can definitely tell you that while there may be, I don't want to say that there's no pros that have WASD movement on, because there definitely does exist pros with WASD. But I can tell you that there's not a lot of them. There's got to be at least like 2 or 3 in like the top 200 in NA. Maybe there's more, and I'm underestimating it a bit, but I think there's there's got to be at least 2 or 3. And then edge panning is the most common. There's probably like 20 players in NA that use camera grip, like in the top 200. Maybe I'm exaggerating that. Maybe it's like 30, but it's low. I don't mind using it sometimes when there are certain occasions where I want to like move my camera faster, but it's not. I would probably stick to edge panning, especially if that's something that you do a lot of. Yeah, this game was really hard overall, to be honest. I think you could have played the lane a bit better in terms of pressuring, but it's really hard when you're laning with this invoker that doesn't do anything. From my perspective, at least, when I watched this game, I was pretty annoyed that he was taking all my XP. Like, this is kind of one of those games where it's like, I wish I could solo lane because of how little he did.
I felt like the Evoker wasn't being very useful, but yeah. There's a lot of that at this tier where like not everyone is like everyone's at the MMR that represents your average skill, but especially at like the lower MMRs, I feel people know how to do different things like really well, and then other people don't know how to do stuff well at all.
Yeah.
Or what am I like players aren't as much like a complete player. They're like really good at like a few of the aspects, but they're terrible at other ones. So you can get frustrated really easily if you focus. You're like, oh, this Voker's just like, this is a stupid pick, and
Yeah.
this lane is just garbage. But I don't know what else he brings to the table. So I just kind of try and go with it. And like, whenever I see someone that's playing extremely badly, I always think like, well, they're probably good at something else, because otherwise they wouldn't be 4K.
Yeah.
If their whole game was as bad as what they're doing right now, they wouldn't be 4K. So
That's a really good mentality to have, actually. It is still a bit hard for me to, like, what's the word? I don't know. Like, it's good to remember that okay, well, this player, there has to be some positive things about this guy for him to beat this MMR. But it is hard. Again, this is Invoker. It's a very rough lane. Yeah. I hope I helped with what you could learn more of this game. We could skim over another replay real fast, or talk a bit more about some lane mechanics. I think you have harassing down really well. I was surprised at how well you played that laning phase, given the fact that Invoker was there.
makes sense to me. Like in terms of you can trade super well, especially the counterattack, because normally if you get too aggressive, then you get like the creep wave on you, and then the trade becomes less efficient.
Yep.
But with LC, it's actually better, because when the creeps get on you, they don't do much damage, and then they proc counterattacks for you on the guy you're trading with. So you can just like start doing stupid amounts of damage, and then it heals you. So it just
Yeah, it is worth noting though that Witch Doctor could have done a lot more in that lane as well. Like we're shitting on this Invoker, but this Witch Doctor also was a little bit kind. Like, he could have just cast you, and there could have been more, much more like spins in the lane.
I felt like I could have died. Like when I was thinking about the lane, I thought it was gonna be a super hard lane. Like I thought I was gonna have to just like max my Q, and it was I didn't know what we were gonna do. And then they kind of just started misplaying the lane pretty badly, I thought. So I came out pretty well.
Yeah. So this is again, going back to this build. This is an interesting build. I would have gone a little differently, but I don't actually mind this. I think that you should value Bracer a bit more against Juggernaut. Is something that I see a lot of, and just like bringing yourself like a salve a bit earlier could have been something you could have done better. Otherwise, like I don't mind these items at all. Other than those things. Also, I don't know if these two branches are better than like a set of tangos, especially against this lane, because I didn't really notice it because I didn't look that closely. But if you get queued heavily and you're like kind of zoned off the wave, you're gonna miss CS if you can't regen fast enough, and the tangos will help. But I'm still
so that's another thing. Like, how much money is there ever a point where it's not worth spending money on regen? Or like if to get like 2 CS, you have to burn like almost like if you have to burn like 1 tango per CS, like that's.
Oh geez, that's a concept that people don't really think of. A lot of it's like muscle memory, like knowing, okay, is it worth it? Like at that rune fight, is it worth it for me to contest the rune? I wouldn't have done it on my Legion, but I also would have had like a slightly different build. I wouldn't have done it solely because I know I'm gonna have to take up probably more than 2 tangos. I haven't really compared like trading for like CS in terms of tangos. I've done it a bit with like swashbuckling on Pango in terms of range CS. Like, hey, if I swashbuckle for this range CS, it costs the same as a Clarity. So if I get the CS, it's like kind of worth it. Like if the CS is like uncontested or something, right? Like it's better to kill it than let it die. Especially because I can ferry myself like at Clarity with the 50 gold that I would have gotten, and then I like have a bunch more mana like overall, right? So from that perspective, it's worth it. But it's very hard to determine, is it worth it to run up to this range creep and get spun on and possibly die. And that's kind of just something you have to get from playing the game more. So I don't have some kind of some kind of rule where, oh, if you take X amount of damage, don't go. I don't know if other people have this rule. For me, it's kind of just I kind of just
guess. I mean, I wasn't knowing as much as specifically or I wasn't looking for something as specific as that. I was just like, sometimes I feel like maybe that's just a lost or like a lane that you shouldn't try and play normally. Like you should try and cheese it somehow.
Yeah.
When you are getting harassed so heavily that you could spend all the money you get CS on regen.
Yeah. That's kind of how mid lane works sometimes, actually, in these very like heavy fighting matchups. You'll just see them ferry themselves regen for like the first 5 minutes of the game until somebody dies, and then the person that they got the kill like by a bottle, and then Like he'll just be, the lanes will be one. But
Oh, okay, right, yeah. So then you kind of answer my question by saying it's actually that's fine. Like if you and your opponent are both just spending all your money on regen, that's fine.
so the thing about mid lane that is it is really different from off lane is mid lane is a duel to it's like a fight for XP. If you can buy enough regen to screw this other player over such that he has to like back up so much to his tower where you can like deny a bunch of creeps, that's like winning. Any situation in which you can do that is really good. So that's why you'll have these SFs that will just buy mangoes and you'll be like, yo man, he's just using the mangoes to harass me, how is this even good? But what's happening is you have to buy regen and you also are losing the lane kind of over it because he's using his raises to like secure creeps. He's using it to zone you off of your creeps that you would want to last hit, and he's forcing you to buy regen, which you'd have to use at your tower. So in that sense, if you think about it, if you're both buying regen, but then he has his wave on his hill and he's like denying all your creeps, it's like favorable for him.
Right. Okay.
It's a little different in the off lane because, well, you kind of want to ferry yourself enough regen so that you're fine in the lane, but like to determine whether some plays are good to make is kind of up to you. Like whether it's worth it to go for that CS, whether you're like okay with the amount of regen you're gonna buy over that CS is the decision you have to make like in kind of the moment. Like, is it worth it for me to pull this creep back? Is it worth it for me to cast my Q to secure this range creep? Stuff like that. I don't know if that helps that much.
No, that's perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess my only other question would be, do you have any good resources for learning about, like how to play the map and other kind of like meta strategies? Like, I find a lot of videos, like my laning has got a lot better because I've watched a few videos about laning and it like made sense to me, but I haven't seen as many videos for like how to, like what rotations are good, what rotations are bad, like where should you play as an offlaner, like how do you make the decision, like you're just watching this replay and there's a time when you were like we should go top and you explain it made sense to me because you're like a bunch of heroes TP bottom, and so you can just go to the other side of the map and pressure. So that I think that was really good advice. But then like do you know any like where I could like read more about that or what YouTube videos or something?
I don't, unfortunately haven't been coaching for that long. I don't have these resources. I wish I did. The best thing I could do would be to watch replays and see people make these moves and then ask yourself, why is he doing this? So so I'm gonna constantly, so say I'm watching this Monkey Scrubber replay. I don't know how good his Legion Commander is, but I'm just gonna watch it for a bit. He's not like, this isn't like some mind control Legion Commander, but I'm just gonna watch it and I'm gonna question. Like if you just ask yourself,
he's better than me anyways, right? So
yeah, but we're just gonna ask ourselves, why does he make this play? So
he has the exact item build that you were saying too: Quelling Blade, Tangos, Ring of Protection.
Yeah, and then he has a salve as well. The salve would be more important against the Juggernauts. Yeah, I don't know how much
salve is good when you're likely to take a lot of damage at once, right?
Yeah. So if you watch these replays and you kind of look at what he's doing, so say we just saw him run at this Abaddon, we can think why is he continuing to auto attack him? Because they're free auto attacks. He wouldn't rather go to the lane. He'd rather just get this damage off. Why is he getting that auto attack off? Because he can. There's not much harass that the Abaddon can do in that situation. If you just keep asking yourself why, you can kind of come to these conclusions yourself, actually, a lot of the time. Why does that wave not go into the tower? Because he's getting this entire wave denied. Like,
I mean, I think what's sort of tricky about that is the hard part is almost asking the questions more than finding an answer. I think finding the answer is like
it's very straightforward. Yeah,
it's exactly, like you don't need to be 8K or whatever your MMR is to know the answers to these questions or to find the answers.
Yeah.
But I think what makes you a really good player is like you're asked. Like I wouldn't have even thought to ask a lot of those questions.
Yeah. You're right, actually. I think I might be going backwards, actually. Like when I ask, like before I ask the question, I kind of know the answer, and that's why I'm asking the question. So I think that's kind of wrong, but I'm not sure if it's actually possible to ask the question. without knowing. So maybe if you just like keep up like a high frequency of asking yourself, like maybe like every 10 seconds, why is he doing this? Like, why did he just farm that camp? Because he thinks that it's better to go top after this lane pushes out a little bit more, so it's a bit safer, instead of maybe running mid. Stuff like that, maybe. So
yeah, no. I mean that's a good point, because like why did he farm this camp is like there are more concrete things you can start with, and then that will lead you to further questions.
Yeah. Okay. So here, why is he not? I guess I feel like his camera should be looking at mid right now, to be honest with you. I feel like there was a bunch of people under the tower. But okay, so he looks and he makes the decision, okay, well, I'd rather push out this wave than go farm, which is fine. And then he sees, okay, there's stuff happening here. Maybe I can get this duel off. Unlucky.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's kind of just the result of if you don't run there. He does go this build that I thought was the build, but a lot of people will buy different things. Here I'm looking at Monkey's Trevor for like he's a really good offlaner. Anybody who's like top 200 you could probably learn from in the offlane.
Okay.
So yeah, you could definitely keep your eye out on the watch tab. Another thing that works is if you go to Dota Pro Tracker, you can search for, I'll send you the website afterwards, but let me search Legion Commander here, and
okay, I've never been on this. I just googled it. I've never been on this site. Okay. So
sure. So I'm gonna send this to you as well, and this is what I see. So I see a list of Legion Commander games. Most of them are losses, actually, because I don't think this hero is that great in the current meta, and this is not surprising to me. Comparing him to like Beastmaster or other heroes, and he's so easily zoned out of lane. You can see these are.
Wait, really? He's zoned. I feel like LC was a strong laner, but maybe I'm.
He is a strong laner, but when you play these lanes against like Ursa Bane or like Ursa Ench or like Slark Ench, like, do you really win those lanes? You know?
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like those are the generic counters to like heroes that have scaling abilities do well against heroes that are traditionally strong laners, right? Like.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, like, sure, you have counterattack, so you'll be winning the trades at the start, but then if you keep going, they'll just start stacking up this Essence Shifts or the Fury Swipes, and then you're in trouble.
Yeah, for sure. So, if you pull that up, I sent you a link as well. You can see a list of past games, and then you can click on the Dota buff button to pull up the ID of the game, and you can copy it, and you can paste it in your watch tab. And you can watch it yourself, and you can ask yourself these questions. And you can pick, like, your favorite offlaners. You want to see Ice, you want to see Mind Control. This is what I would do if I wanted to get a lot better at Legion Commander and I wanted to see the rotations that are being made. Again, it is worth noting that a lot of these are losses for a reason. I think this hero isn't the greatest right now, for many reasons in terms of like heroes that are good in the meta.
What do you think of Sand King? I actually play a lot of Sand King.
Sure. So again, I personally don't play like I play a lot more Pango than I do any other hero. But I don't think Sand King's that bad. You should, if I were you, I would start with some replays, because honestly, I would honestly myself would watch a replay before I played a Sand King game, because my last Sand King games haven't been that good. I think a lot of it's attributed to the strong the strong meta laners that are in the game right now, but I think that I'm very poor at using my Sandstorm in lane correctly.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm so good on the hero, is like I just abuse that spell so much. I like, it's just the number of times that I've turned situations around by abusing it is, yeah.
So for one example, I think I'm awful at using Sandstorm, so I would probably pull up a replay from Dota Pro Tracker. I would find a Sand King game, and I'd be like, hey, why? I would find out, hey, okay, he's using Sandstorm here, why? He's decided he wants to save it here, why? You know, and kind of ask myself these questions, because I think I'm capable of answering these questions, and hopefully that would make me get better. Of course, I'm not going to become some god Sand King player overnight, but hopefully I would not lose my lane as hard. Like my last Sand King games, they're awful. I think that they're all losses. Okay, I don't know why they're wins, but I feel like they've gone a lot worse than that.
Right. Okay.
All right. So yeah. Hit me up if you have any questions. Anything related to how your games are going, or if you're curious about a replay really fast, I can skim through it and like message you where I think you could have done something better. Definitely.
Yeah, I'll definitely take you up on that replay thing, because there's definitely like the other thing is I feel like like utilizing your time more efficiently is like you can flip through a replay in 5 minutes and probably come up with a bunch of things that I did wrong because it'll just stand out. It's like glaringly obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. So I hope this helped as well. Hope you learned a lot. And,
All right. Do you want me